I won't turn off the crazy, you know that. But so today's lesson is going to be a little bit more on, I guess, like damage control. Okay, so let me open up this chat here. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit more like damage control. You know, throughout the week, there was, like I tell you guys, if there's something that I hear a lot of, I usually make that the topic of the call. Now, I heard a mixed bag of stuff throughout the week, but kind of the same similar theme, and that is that y'all struggle through it for no reason. Don't wait until it's a problem to reach out for help. I'm going to mention that like at least 3 more times today. That was the only common theme I would say amongst it, but I wanted to make today's lesson more so about, you know, the most popular issues that I see that derail people. And I went through the same thing. So my hopes is in giving you guys some like life hacks and stuff around some common things that'll throw you off kilter. At least you'll feel more confident in having that plan of attack. And then if you need any assistance more than that, you can reach out and text. So maybe my bun isn't on the screen. Like, anyway, there's no hope. So let's see. Okay, so make sure you guys know me. I'm a feedback queen. So when you are seeing something that you're hearing something that's relating to you, I want you to feel free to just write it on in the chat and we can discuss. So, all right. Now I want to kick this off by saying it is normal when you live your life a certain way for so long. It is normal to have your fallback into what is familiar, what is quick, what is easy, what requires the least amount of thought. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, no one's bad for being that way. We're all here because you guys want to learn a way around that. Because that's, you know, then that's like saying, like, do we only shower when life isn't busy? Or if you need to shower, you cram a shower in there. You know, do we only brush our hair when, you know, there's nothing else to do? Do we brush our teeth? Just, oh wow, I have like life is so smooth. Paid my bills, let me get that toothbrush. Like, no, these are things we do for ourselves every single day that are, you know, it's important to do these things. Just like hygiene is a part of our overall well-being, you know, the things we eat, the things we do, the way we stress, all the routines that we know help us feel our best and help our hormones be balanced. That's important too. The only difference is you know how to brush your teeth every day and brush your hair and do those things when life is busy. That's the only difference. So if you can now learn a different way to do things than what you've always done, and that becomes your go-to, then problem solved. No matter how, you know, calm or crazy life is, you're good. So keep that in mind. It's not about leaving this call and feeling like, oh shit, I do all those things, I'm so bad. Or, oh my God, I have to be perfect at everything. No, I want you to leave this call and I want you to be in problem solve mode. When there's something that throws a wrench in your plan, I want you to think instead of like, oh, God, I can't do it, you know, just I'll do it again later. Try to stop yourself and problem solve. Okay, jot it down. I'll talk about the journal later on, but I want you to just change your thought process after this. I don't give a damn about anybody being perfect at their baby steps when we're done with this call. I want you to be able to reach out for help and know the area you need help in. And that doesn't come from perfection. So hearing nothing from my clients, I'm always thinking, I'm like, you know, I'm hoping that you guys are doing well, but I also know how hard this is and why we're doing this together. So it's not that you're bothering me. Keep that in mind. Here's like, you know, time number 3. I'm going to say this. It's going to keep going. You're not a bother. There's a reason I include texting. It can be really, really helpful and easy to retain when the situations I'm going to go through now, and I'm going to explain to you how to fix them. But if in the moment when emotions were high, you were able to work through something and learn something from it, that would stick so much more than anything you could write down in your notes, you know? So just keep that in mind. Okay. So here's situation number one. People who are moving or, going on vacation. And I'm not even talking about necessarily on the vacation. The week leading up is a weird time to be alive. Like, you don't know what to buy for groceries because you don't want to leave them in your fridge. You are not sure, like, you want to be like extra good because you're going on vacation. So you're setting up that mental, like, let me be super strict now so I can go all in on vacay. But that's still that diet mindset that sets up like good food and then the food that I get to eat. So that doesn't always help. So the week before, eating can be kind of weird. And then depending on how you set it up prior to vacation, those of you who have been working with me for a while, my philosophy on vacation, and that is don't go looking for it. Don't eat something that you don't even really like that isn't hormone friendly just because it's vacation and it's there. But don't hold back from something you truly want to experience either. Now, if you get yourself set up that you were really, really good before vacay so you can go balls to the wall vacay, what are you going to do when you come home? It's going to be like you have the double whammy of like, all right, so now life is back and I don't even know how long till the next vacation. I guess I'll get back to eating my kale. Like, like, oh God, that sucks. So the way you set it up for yourself is, if you're preparing to move, same situation with the fridge, right? Think about, how can I make this work? What can I buy in small quantities that like go bad? And how can I stretch it? Try to plan it. And if you have to order something, get takeout or whatever, negotiate the terms. Some of you who are newer, you haven't heard negotiate the terms yet. There are a couple videos in the classroom. The food change perspective, I think it's called. I don't know why I named them so ADD. Like, so ridiculous, some of these titles, but I try. But the idea of negotiating the terms is, if you can't be 100%, then find ways to still make it doable. So I always use this story. When I first got started doing this as a business, one of my first few clients, she was addicted to fast food. She would eat fast food, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Snacks would be from like a gas station convenience store. And there's no judgment with that. Honestly, she grew up in a family that they never cooked. They also were the same way. It was generational. It's just in her area, it was very common for that to be. So when we got started, I never made it about her not getting fast food anymore. I made it about, let me help you on what to pick when you go there. So one day, she was texting me and she was all upset because she's like, oh, I was doing so good. Sorry, my back is like these tiles. You're going to see me shifting around a lot. But she's like, I hope my boobs aren't on the screen. I was doing so good. It was like 3 months. I haven't had any fast food. I haven't gone to McDonald's or Wendy's or anything. And I went in today, like I was running late. She was moving, she's like, so I was really, I didn't prepare. I worked my ass off all day and I just was so hungry. I was passing Wendy's and like, I couldn't hold back. So I was like, okay. I was like, what'd you get? She's like, oh my God, I got so much. I'm like, okay, what did you get? She's like, well, I got a chicken sandwich and a double cheeseburger and a salad and a thing of chili. And I think she got a baked potato too. She goes, and then I'm about to like be like, okay, and like try to walk her through it the same way I do with you guys. And then she goes, well, I mean, I took the bread off. She's like, and I got grilled instead of breaded chicken. And I mean, I didn't even have the croutons, honestly. I didn't finish the salad though. It's like, I always find that funny. Like, who the hell wants the salad, And she's like, and I had the chili, but I don't really like beans, so I didn't even have that many beans either. So I was like, okay, why are you upset? She was like, well, I had fast food. I was like, yeah, but you ordered all the stuff within your baby steps. You're like, yeah, okay, you maybe went over a little bit in carb because it's a potato. But could you have like really gone in the way you used to? Is this an improvement? And she was like, yeah, now that you mention it. And I say this to you guys all the time, the unlearning is the hardest part with this. The thinking that we do not have to be disciplined and strict. We just have to be careful. We just have to be consistent. You know, we just have to learn the stuff we enjoy that doesn't screw our bodies up. And then in time, that becomes habit. Negotiate the terms when you can't make it happen 100%, and then learn from that situation. Say, what happened here? How can I improve this? And then there you go. The next time it's better. You know, I tell my journey took 2.5 years, and I'd been up and down during that journey. It wasn't just consistent loss. It was like, oh, sweet. I actually lost like 15 pounds. Holy shit. All right, let me go get some donuts. Like there was a lot of learning. A lot of the stuff I coach you guys through was stuff I had to coach myself through. And that's only after putting some of that weight on and getting freaked out, and then having to also learn not to get freaked out when that happens. It's all data. It's all data. All of you guys have mystery situations that can be cracked. I promise. It takes time. So, okay. Period/PMS. That's a big one. And I always had the philosophy, honestly, that if it's my period or I'm PMSing, that it was so excusable. I would be like, oh, I'm on my period. It doesn't even matter. You know, almost like I had no say in what was like, it was like, oh, it's the witching hour. Can't make decisions on this. Need cake, you know? So, but my philosophy, you know, this across the board, if you're going to say not that to something that isn't hormone friendly, find something that is hormone friendly that you enjoy eating. It does not have to be the same taste. It does not have to be better than the real thing. Try to start thinking of two different types. There's two separate foods. This cake is not that cake, but just like somebody might prefer red velvet to carrot, you can like a hormone friendly version of a cake and an unhormone friendly version of cake, because for what they taste like, they taste good. And it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Do we ever get two different types of chocolate donuts, and then if it's not exactly like the last place you got a chocolate donut at, you're like, this is garbage, get it out of here? No, it might very well be a delicious chocolate donut. So if you think about it that way, why do we get hung up when we don't love a low carb option as much as the other thing? There's plenty of room for both. I hope y'all are mind blown by that, because I just like came to that. Like I didn't even write that on the whiteboard, guys. So tell me, like, are you connecting with that? I'm totally using that chocolate donut example because I've been trying to find a way to put that into better words. But yeah, it's like, you can have different versions and it's okay. It's not just because you get the shitty diet version. So, okay. Tweak what you want to eat on the period days, but make them hormone friendly and have as much as you want. That's the other component. You shouldn't try to limit yourself on days that you're PMSing or you're on your period, or those of my ladies in here who are currently preggo. Then if you're having a craving, you know, same thing applies. Like, see what you can find that maybe you like, that does the trick. And there will be times that it won't. But at least if you try with a hormone friendly option and you don't limit your quantity and you feel like this is indulgent, like, oh my God, I can have this whole thing. It takes all that shitty feeling away. Okay. So long work day. You worked later than you wanted to. It was a shitty day. Everyone was an asshole. You know, like everything on the radio is about COVID. Your timeline is a disaster. Who the hell wants to make chicken? Honestly, no, I don't either. So there are some days like when I have back to back calls, like from the morning to the end. Hell no, I am not taking out a frying pan. We are ordering. Like, and you know, if you're able to order, or you get takeout, fast food, whatever, like I mentioned, tweak it, but don't limit the quantity. You know, who cares if you get friggin' 3 different sandwiches from a fast food place, but it fits within your baby steps still. Eat until you're full. It's okay to do that. We are allowed to do that. We do not have to think about like, oh, I'm eating too much. No, it's based on how it interacts with your body, okay? So not bringing food with you. Again, tweak the takeout. Now, for those of you who are like, okay, girl, I get it, but like, how do I tweak the takeout? In the classroom, look at the takeout. It's like the takeout and ordering guide or the restaurant guide. I always forget. It's pretty unavoidable. It's in the food replacements section, okay? And screenshot the sections that have pertinent restaurants like that you would go to and you would frequent. Screenshot those types and keep them in their own CCA album in your phone. Just make a little separate phone album for your screenshots. Save what you need to from the classroom, keep it in there. I do that for the bread recipes. I don't feel like digging, and I don't remember half the time. So, okay. Oh, and plan to make some chaffles for tomorrow. I cannot sing chaffles praises enough, and the reason, it's not because they are the best tasting thing in the world. They're great. I love them. But like, you ever have bread that's not like good crusty bread? It's just bread, but we don't even notice it. It's kind of the same thing. It's just like, it's a vessel, as I will explain shortly. So make chaffles. It takes a few minutes. You just mix stuff in a bowl, throw it on the iron, and there you go. Okay. Not bringing food with you. Oh, I did that. A fight with a loved one. Okay, so sometimes when we fight with our loved ones, the first thought is that everything sucks and nothing's worth giving a shit about right now because you're just mad, or you're just upset, or you're just hurt, or you're just something where not a whole lot else matters. Let's be honest. You know, and I'm talking about that kind of a fight. I'm not talking about a little tiff, you guys bickered. I'm talking about it was just one of those days. Maybe you've been mood swinging. Maybe they've just not been in tune with what you've needed and you feel shy asking for it, whatever the case may be. One of those fights where it boils over, okay? So how many people, show of hands or in the chat or whatever, how many people have fought with a loved one? Maybe they had dinner planned already, and then they're like, fuck this, I'm getting some ice cream, I'm gonna go sit my ass on the couch and you can figure it out. Or cried into that ice cream instead. So when that happens, oh girl, we're getting to you. Okay, hey, we're getting to you. But when that happens and we wanna sabotage because something has made us just feel like, what does it even matter, honestly, if this is what's happening at home? You want to have tasty hormone-friendly things to fall back on. It's really, really, really helpful to not keep stuff that you know or is going to screw you in your house. Now, I know I say that really easily, and you're like, we have people who eat that stuff. Try to find friendly alternatives, and don't pitch it like, hey, here's the hormone-friendly version I can have. I hope you like it. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I'm making you do this. It doesn't have to be all that. And be like, well, I got this one and I can eat it and it looks good. And you might be surprised at how your family reacts. But if they react in a way that's like, okay, I want my stuff in here and you can scratch, or, you know, whatever, ask them that while you're learning if they can keep it somewhere other than the common area. It's not because you are some crazy fiend who can't be trusted. It's just that, why make it harder on yourself? Because if you're in that mode and you're going to say screw it, you're not going to know when that thing is going to happen. And if I asked you right now, hey, when's the next time you're going to have one of those fights with your loved one? You wouldn't be like, next week, girl. Like, you can't prep for that. So instead, you have to be preemptive and know that if this stuff is here, I will sabotage with it. Like, I know my binge triggers. Maybe if that is one for you, you know, try to plan around it. And just while you're getting accustomed to things, ask them to keep it out of the common area and make sure you are stocked with stuff that you don't have to think about. You just go grab the whole bar of Lily's, girl. Go get the whole bag of some kind of Quest chips, I don't know, whatever, and go sit in front of the couch still. You're just simply picking the things that don't screw you over. but keep on with that, okay? Just indulge. We do not have to hold ourselves back in those moments from eating at all. It's just about what it is we're eating, okay? Not being hungry. This is a really, really, really common one. And for all of you ladies who watch these and you are like, oh, but I don't eat. I appreciate your patience because I get it. There were periods of time where for me, I wouldn't have an appetite whatsoever. And I was constantly nauseous. And that was for me the most frustrating thing because it was like, I could see if I was eating bonbons all day. Like I could see if I like was actually hungry, but I am never interested in food. And it's honestly like for me, I don't really eat in the first part of the day. It's just my nature. I'm not hungry in the beginning of the day. But when it was really bad at times with my hormones is when I was breaking out the most. I was noticing my stomach was like just getting a different shape it looked like every day. That's when I was actually eating the least. So I feel you. Set alarms to take bites. So the cues that come, like our body learns and adapts after a while. And when it can tell that we don't, oh, here comes the part for me. Yep. You can tell that, what was I saying? Oh, okay. So when your body learns your habits, it can pick up on the fact that, hey, if we release this hormone, she might not eat, you know, because if you're nauseous a lot or, you know, you're running around stressed, whatever, feeling like crap, you know, but for some trigger doesn't happen anymore. And your body doesn't give you those hunger cues until you're like gonna puke from hunger and you feel shaky and disgusting, or until you know you just need to eat. It's been too long. So to get those hunger cues coming back, there has to be a trigger. So much like an appetizer, appetizers are small. The reason for that, not just so you don't fill up, by the way, it starts triggering your mouth to water, which then increases your appetite for the main course. Just a little tidbit. So try to give yourself foods that you can take a bite of. Chop up some cheese into like little itty bitty cubes. Get pepperoni. Trying to think for vegan options, you know, fruit, berries, like blueberries, pop a couple blueberries, because I know when you're feeling like disgusted by food, it's really hard to even want, you know, to eat and snack on those things. And I'm going to casually drop this in here, and I hope without judgment. But if you do happen to have the luxury of being in a state that supports medical marijuana, there is a lot of science backing the fact that it can be really beneficial. And I highly suggest at least looking into it. If you want to text me about it, you know, it's really easy to get your card now, you know, especially for a lot of stuff we have. So that's definitely an option as well to help. Obviously, it's not going to fix anything, but to help a little. Not being hungry, a lot of it is also stress related. So as much as it seems like almost annoying to suggest that, because I have been there too, it really is. Your stress management has to become an absolute priority, because that's the thing, that's the hormone that's preventing the proper hunger cues. So if you're not hungry a lot, that doesn't mean that you have to force yourself to eat 6 small meals, 2 hours spaced apart, blah, blah, blah. But if you're going more than, let's say, 6 hours at a pop and there is nothing making you hungry whatsoever, then try to remind yourself with those timers to take a bite. Because if it can stimulate your appetite more, then it might help open up your system to be wanting a food, and then your body will learn that schedule and adjustment. So don't try to beat yourself up or force yourself to eat big meals. When you have appetite issues, it's better if you just think of it as a task and eat little bits spread out. I also have chronic gastritis. So sometimes I will go through flare-ups where and gastritis is like when your stomach becomes swollen, like the organ itself becomes swollen. So you just, similar to an ulcer, you know, where you just feel grossed out by food, not hungry, and then starving, and then you take 2 bites and you're stuffed. Like, it's very similar. Oh, good, Misty, good for you. Yeah, strawberries, that's another good. Watermelon. Oh, so watermelon and tomatoes are usually my food like that. Like I can eat tomatoes no matter how sick I am. Like they're my favorite. So, okay. Date night or girls night. Or girls night, you know what I mean? Like friends night. But suggest a hormone friendly place. Doesn't have to be a big deal either. Like if you guys are deliberating on places to go, have a few picked out that you know there's stuff on the menu you enjoy eating that happen to be hormone friendly. And this way, you can just pick what you want when you go. You don't even have to say anything. You just know what you're going to pick anyway. You like it. That's why, so when we're learning about these things, it's twofold. I want you guys to do this, not because, I mean, obviously because I want you to be consistent and get results and feel better, but I also want you to build up your bank of places you go, foods you order, situations you have solutions for. As you learn through these crazy parts of life and learn ways to make this work for you, I want you to remember that. Keep that in the forefront of your mind, okay? So having restaurants picked out that can be hormone friendly, that might take you looking in the area, looking on Yelp at some menus of some places, seeing what sounds good, and then maybe you plan a takeout night from there or something, and to test it out and see. And if you eat it and enjoy it, then you're like, okay, cool, this is one that I'm gonna use again. Okay, where is it? Okay, this is also fun. Remember, we don't want to think of the food we make as like the shitty version we get because we got to lose weight and because our hormones suck. That's just not who would enjoy cooking. When we can make things that are tasty to us genuinely and they happen to be hormone friendly, who's to say, you guys don't have a friends night in, like a potluck or something. And maybe, you bring a dish you really love. They bring, if you want to just cook together and hang out, plan the meals together, and inadvertently plan stuff that happens to be hormone friendly. Steak and sweet potato fries and salad. Who wouldn't think that that's just a regular ass dinner, right? Happens to be hormone friendly. So, take that into consideration. Don't think of it as like, oh God, I got to fit my ways into everybody else's life. Just try to find things that just happen to include you all that's fun for everyone, and then problem solved. Okay. Alcohol. Okay, so when it comes to alcohol, one, in the takeout and restaurant guide in the classroom, at the end there is a section on alcohol to help. But it's not that alcohol is bad for you in terms of like if you're gonna have a couple drinks, it's gonna really derail you. Like if you're gonna ask me about alcohol as compared to like sugar, I would honestly say, like, I mean, I drink still, like I have, but it's the way that you limit it that matters. If you drink something, and by the way, a lot of liquor has gluten in it. So if that's your baby step and you're up to that and you need help trying to finagle that, text me. But if you're going for like a gluten-free liquor or whatever, as long as you keep it to a couple drinks and it's not every day, you'll be fine. The problem is that alcohol causes a lot of inflammation, like a lot. I gotta be honest with you. There was a time in my life I was like really, it was before my whole journey and everything. I was really, really depressed. I was drinking, like, I want to say 2 bottles of wine, like most days of the night, most days of the week, waking up sick. Like this lasted for maybe a month. And then I was like, I didn't need to drink the wine. It was just that I was bored, I guess. I got home from work and I was like, oh, I gotta unwind, And my RA and my mixed connective tissue disease got absolutely terrible, terrible. Like I don't know how I even like was driving sometimes. That was, soon after that is when I needed to get the surgery in my neck because like my neck had blown out, it was just, granted, I have RA and I have mixed connective tissue disease. This doesn't happen to anybody who drinks alcohol. But my point is that after that, My point is that after that, I really was like, I have to care for my body really closely. It just was a big, just more of a wake up call. So I decided that I wasn't really going to drink except if it was an actual special occasion or if it was one day during the weekend. And I ended up just, it's not even that I have to like stop myself or plan it. I'm just like, why? I don't want to be puffy. Because when I started doing that, I noticed I looked completely different. I noticed my pain subsided so much. It was crazy. I was more active, so it just, it, it's all up to you. I don't think it's personally worth it to feel shittier when you're doing all of this other stuff. And if you know me, you know my style. I don't like telling people exactly how to live. I don't judge, and I don't feel that it's necessarily my territory. But in my opinion, I don't feel alcohol is worth what it does to our bodies unless it's something that's worth it. Like, unless it is a special date night you never get out, or your first time doing outdoor dining, or a birthday, or a special holiday, and if you have a couple drinks, you'll be fine. But just try to keep it. 21st birthday girl, that's going to be a whole worth it day, and the next day too. So, but God, at least it was for my train wreck of a birthday. But, just try to keep it to moderation. I hate that term, but keep it in moderation and it's fine. Now, go for things that don't have sugary mixers. That's the biggest, one. There's the White Claws, there's the tons of seltzers they have now. There's wine is fine. As long as you go for super sweet one, but just basically use the same logic when you go to choose what you're going to eat, I guess. So, and check out the guide in the classroom. Bring your own vessels, family gatherings. So vessels, I was talking about this today with a client, and this comes up a lot. Next week, I'm going to be kicking off Kitchen Confidence. You guys are all in it already, but it's going to be focused on cooking, kitchen stuff, etc., and why it becomes hard to just make it work. So a vessel in the culinary world, it's how we describe something that carries the flavor, like it carries a sauce or the meats, whether it be the bread from a sandwich. I'm trying to think what else. The taco shell in a taco, stuff like that. It literally is the vessel for the filling. So what trips people up, because it's not hard to find stuff like meats and salads and blah, 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 blah. It's the vessels that trip people up. It's the breads, it's the pastas, it's the thing you eat with, the side that you get with the meat, because otherwise, what are you just going to eat meat? So the vessels are very important to pay attention to. I have a whole lesson dedicated to that next week, but try to think how I can bring my own vessels for whatever I'm eating. You can get fancy and do stuffed veggies. Any vegetable you have, you gut the insides out, put ground beef and cheese in it. Hey, that's pretty damn good on its own. So remember, try to focus on figuring out your go-to vessels. That will make it a whole lot easier. Celebrations. Okay. So celebrations, family parties, blah, blah, blah. It's all, interchangeable, but, bring your own, find a way to make it work unless it's a true worth it moment. What I mean is, even if it is your birthday, that doesn't mean it's every meal of the day. It don't count. And it doesn't mean you go to a restaurant and you pick like the craziest thing on the menu, because all this is doing is setting it up that's your food, that's your salvation. It's what you've held out for. It's the real stuff that you don't get because your hormones are screwed up. So it's a celebration. We're taking food off of pedestals here, and we're just separating them in terms of taste, the effect they have in the body, and a time and place. So say it's your birthday and you're going to go out for dinner, or you're going to get dinner or whatever, negotiate the terms still. Find a way to make it work. And for example, I love going to the Brazilian place I always talk about with the meat on the skewers. My toss up will be that I will have one thing of flan after, but I'm going to eat the dinner that I would normally eat while there. I'm not going to go for, the amazing paella that they have there, or the rice dishes that they have there. Because as great as they are, I want my flan. And because it's my birthday, but I don't feel like screwing myself. So I'm going to have my flan though, and I'll be excited about it. If you have a birthday cake and it's like a whole cake at your house, here's a pro tip. I ate so many birthday cakes in my life figuring this out, but for the love of God, have a slice and send the rest home with someone. I know it sounds so sacrilegious and painful and be like, oh, but I love birthday cake. Exactly. Why are you leaving that fork bite magnet in your fridge? Come on, I know. I do this. I used to do the same thing. Sneak a fork out the side of it. If it's there, I'm going to eat it. I know it. And if it's there and I don't eat it, I'm going to be pissed off. So why? Why keep it? What you do is you have a slice and you make sure, hell, do this beforehand, even better, but have some kind of cake that's hormone friendly also for yourself, and eat the whole damn thing if you want after you have your slice of your authentic birthday cake. But create that environment of, I had my time and place, I had my worth it moment, I still want more cake, so I'm going to have more cake. I'm just going to have more cake that doesn't screw me over. Okay? Stress, kind of the same as the being upset above. Have tasty hormone friendly things to fall back on and indulge on. It's not a time to think about limiting yourself. Not a time to be like, I'm on a diet. It's time for you to just find stuff to literally pile and surround yourself with and go in until you're done, but knowing it's hormone friendly stuff. Okay. Not planning appropriately. Find ways to condense tasks. If you have to cook, find a way to lump it together. This actually came up a few times this week, especially if you take, let's say, bacon. Bacon's the easiest thing to kind of prep ahead, because you just take a sheet pan and you put parchment on it, you lay the bacon on the sheet pan and throw it in the oven while you're cooking dinner. So while you're already doing what you got to do already, you're having a crunchy snack for tomorrow prepped. This recommendation, by the way, has been really popular with everyone lately, but if you haven't tried it yet, you have to, especially if you like salty, crunchy stuff. Get prosciutto. I'm going to drool. Put it on a sheet pan with parchment paper and then bake it at 200 until it starts to get crispy looking. And it is crunchy, salty, so good, and it's extra protein, and it's really satisfying because it's so salty. So I highly, highly recommend that for sure. Tell me how you like them, but that's one of my favorites. So what did I want to say? No excuses for the planning appropriately. That's the other thing. This will take time to learn. Yes. But you want to try and start building out, like I mentioned, I have it in the corner there. If there is something holding you back from doing it, it's not an impossibility. It's not about just waiting and getting back on track. It's about problem solving to find out, how can I do this while still prioritizing my health and the way I feel every day. So keep a journal. And whenever life does derail you, know that it's coming, because it's life. Know that if worst case you screw up, you put it in a journal and you write about what happened and how we can improve it. If you don't know how, you got me, you got Meryl, you got the Academy. We're here for you. You have support. But try to think of everything as a puzzle to solve, a problem to solve, rather than something you pass or fail at, because you're not going to learn from pass or fail mentality, and then it's just going to be a repeated pattern. All right. So let's see, did I miss anything in this chat? Tell me your biggest takeaway. I want to know what was your favorite thing from all this stuff. What did you relate to the most? What are you going to take with you and try to use? Give me the rundown. Simona, I definitely feel like I have to be perfect with everything, and that's when I fall off. It's just easier to stay off. It seems easier, but then in the long run, you think, what parts of my life could be so much better if I didn't feel this way, if I didn't have, my body wasn't this way. And if the quality of life you have would be greatly improved, then problem solving is the way to bridge that gap between continuing to fall off and not be perfect. How do we fix that? Practice. So make sure, if that's the problem you want to focus on, is staying diligent even when you screw up, as long as you actually like put the effort in to stay diligent, that's something to work on. We're our own worst enemies for sure. Truffles are awesome. Yep, my non-hungry ladies. When I first started, we literally gave all our stuff away to our neighbors. Yes, donate, donate, donate. Don't think you have to, when taking the stuff out of your home that you're going to be triggered by, see if you can bring it to the office. See if there's, anybody, any neighbors that want it, friends, coworkers, your significant other's family, whatever, and just be like, we have extra groceries. I don't know. It's only as weird as you make it. People are getting free food. If they don't want it, you can toss it, but. Oh my God, pepperoni in a deep fryer. I have never tried that. How is that? It's good? I'm scared. I don't know why. I feel like it's getting just like, when you put it in the oil. All right. Maybe on a dare. I'll try. Watermelon, love. Strawberries, love. Strawberries, I think, are the lowest carb fruit. I hate when you get strawberries though and they taste like squash. Have you ever gotten that? Like where it's like, it looks like a, especially the larger strawberries, they have no flavor to them whatsoever. And it's like, you're just eating, it feels like a weird squash. I don't know. I'm weird though. Got my card today. You got it, girl. 21st birthday. Good luck. I have a lot of tips on hydration for you for the next day if you need them. But I hate most of the seltzers, but Bud Light ones are actually good. I've heard that. And I think the Bud Light ones are still gluten-free, actually. The Bud Light seltzers. But yeah, I don't really care for the seltzers either. Like, they'll do if they're really cold and they're really crispy. I hate flat anything carbonated. Like, if it's not like hurts, like I like it when it hurts my mouth, literally. I don't want it. But I don't know. It's always like back when bars were a thing anymore over here. I used to get them at the bar just because I didn't want to deal with the anxiety of knowing what to order. Does anybody ever have that happen where you're just like, and you don't know what the hell to say real quick? That's me. So White Claws are my anxiety choice. Plus I'm a lightweight extremely now since I don't drink. So all that much. Oh my God. So the microwave cake, guys, when I kept mentioning cake before and I didn't tell you specifically what cake I mean. The chocolate microwave cake is so easy. It is my go-to every single time. It is a few ingredients with cocoa powder in the microwave and it is so filling. I love anything where I literally can't finish it. I don't know why, it makes me happy. So, go for it. And then I'd rather be pissed than eat all that cake. Yeah, because I'm gonna eat all that cake. You know that. You know how many times it looks like a raccoon got into it in the fridge and they would be like, what happened to this? I'm like, what do you think happened to it? I did. Prosciutto's good. We're gonna have to completely eat hormone friendly, but mostly. Well, like with the worth it moments, like if you need help clarifying that, girl, book a call with me. But yeah, no, there's worth it moments, but the rest of the time should be hormone friendly to get and maintain results. Without doing that, our hormones never regulate. So the idea is to make it consistent in a way that doesn't suck, because that at the end of the day, biologically is the fact that we do have to be maintaining our hormones. Once we find what works, we have to stick with that, not beyond a few worth it moments here and there. Otherwise, the symptoms we get, like, you can still live a happy life, you know, it's just about knowing the expectations of, this is the extent of where my hormones are, of where my results will go because of the amount of worth it moments. If that's okay, that can totally be okay. But it's just about our own perspective. Okay. Setting alarms to take bites when not hungry. I'm never hungry. I actually eat dinner because we eat as a family. Yeah. So that's where it's going to be really, really important, you know, maybe to have one bite when you wake up. Maybe have a bite when your kids go to eat. You know, you just have one bite. You know, just try to find other patterns, other habits to like piggyback on, or just set alarms if you're going to listen to them. I do better with piggybacking off of something else I'm doing anyway. Um, yeah. Planning ahead is super important, even minimally, even a little bit. I like to over plan, meaning instead of saying, oh shit, I'm out of chaffles, I got to prep more chaffles, I try to find every opportunity I can to prep chaffles, because I'd rather have extra, Lord knows I'll eat it, than to have, you know, to be out and be starving and then have to figure out how to make it, because I just won't. So, okay. Life isn't perfect, so you won't be. Exactly. The perfect way to handle it is to know how to roll with those ups and downs so that it never derails you. You are in the driver's seat. I'm never hungry. I need almonds at my disposal at all times. Yeah, maybe have something you don't mind grazing on that becomes your staple. And, you know, for those of you who are those ladies watching that need to have those little bites throughout, it doesn't need to be anything crazy or different. You don't need to make it special. It could be something that you know is palatable for you if you have a couple every now and again. Like strawberries. Someone else said that, you know. Setting alarms to take bites rather than forcing yourself to eat. Yeah, spread it out. Hormone friendly stuff for when you're hungry, and multitasking for cooking when you're already cooking. Yeah, attach patterns to patterns, attach actions to actions. I try to multitask. It's also what helps me save a lot of energy and like physical energy with my other illnesses. You know, you got to kind of like budget all that shit together. So it definitely helps to multitask in little spurts. Just so focused and I neglect taking breaks or lunch. Yes, yes. Alarms are also, even for those of you guys who do get hungry, but you just are more likely to ignore the hunger if you're in the middle of something. That's really common. And then the minute you stop doing something, it all hits you like, oh my God, get out of my way. I need the fridge. So that definitely will help with that. And in turn, you'll crave less and binge less. So making it an actual worth it moment, having the one thing you want and not having to make the whole meal / day something that will go against your hormones. Yeah, it's almost like you don't want to look for a rebellion, you know, because instead of it being like, oh, you know, well, I never eat this one thing. I'm diligent all the time and it's my birthday, so I'm going to go to this place and get this one thing. Like, for me, that's fun. I love it. I have to just make it sugar-free already. I have not been doing too much dessert making, as you guys have seen on Calendly. So, but yeah, no need to sabotage for the whole day. Enjoy one great thing and enjoy a lot of great hormone-friendly things instead too. Hey, I'm going through my pantry because of this nutrition thing. Do you want dibs? Yeah, yeah, that's a perfect easygoing phrase. You know, yeah, I'm doing something new for my gut, and you don't even have to mention PCOS or Hashimoto's or weight loss or whatever. You could just say, hey, I'm doing something for gut balance, whatever the hell you feel like choosing. My mentor condones lying. No, your mentor condones not having nosy Nancy's asking all up in your business and helping you get your shit out of there without throwing it out. But yeah, whatever you feel comfortable saying. It shrinks like they do if you stick them in the oven. Oh, are you talking about the prosciutto? Did you make them? I'm so excited to hear. Um, I pick small strawberries specifically because I try to too. We only get like the giant GMO friggin' Hulk strawberries lately. Um, and then I saw this video. You guys see that video on TikTok? I might ruin strawberries for you guys. I'm so sorry. Don't look for strawberry videos on TikTok. I haven't had strawberries in a few weeks because of it. I realized the bigger the fruit, veggie, pepper, it loses its taste or taste. Yeah, 100%. Hard cider is gluten-free, yes, but it is high in sugar. So I would make that like a worth it moment. That's how high it is in sugar. But they're delicious and they're gluten-free. But you can even water down your seltzer. I don't know if anyone's gonna like want to kill me for saying that because I know people are very, very serious about their ciders. But you can take the Diet Sprite, any seltzer, any LaCroix, whatever, and actually cut like a hard cider. So this way you can like stretch out one cider and have what feels like multiple drinks. And because it's so sweet, it's not going to be too watered down. That's because I love cider. That's how I figured that out. Okay. Used to panic order drinks all the time. Like, you know how many weird, I remember one time when I was really young, I was like one of the first few times I was ordering, I went out with my girls, you know, it was like a lot of people there. I couldn't order something bougie because you can't even scream to the bartender because they're just like, what do you want? You know, I ordered an appletini one time because I got so freaked out. What the hell? What is this? A wedding? But okay. Gluten-free mug cakes by Udi's. Those are good too. They can be a little bit high in carb. The gluten-free substitutes tend to be high in carb because they use brown rice and fillers in them to kind of give the texture or some bulk. Microwave cake, trust me, you're going to be obsessed. And it's cheap too. For the amount of ingredients you have to use per cake compared to a store-bought one, you save a lot. Smart cakes are also really, really good from Nutrition. Those of you who are new and you're like, what? In the classroom, go to My Nutrition Favorites in the Food Replacements album. You brought Stevie to a bartender and asked if they could. That's amazing. I love that. Look at you. You're my hero. So awesome. Okay, if I have regular cake in my fridge, it calls to me. I will eat that for days until it's done. Cashews, Mod Podge it together. Yeah. So make your own trail mix. That's another really good snack thing too. Use Lily's chocolate chips instead of regular chocolate in there. All right, guys. I hope that this gave you guys a little bit more confidence, a little bit more clarity, gave you some good ideas, some inspiration. I want you to take these ideas and elaborate on them now for yourselves. You know, if anything stuck out to you, jot it down. Anything you go through tomorrow you notice is holding you back, jot it down. Journal to solve it for yourself, or if you need help, reach out, you know, but remember, it's always problem solving. Nothing is ever fixed and hopeless, okay? And you have tons of support here, so if you need anything, you let one of us know, all right? So, bye.